denied him the 66 billion naira that they were supposed to pay him for helping Nigeria to recover looted funds, right? The man himself is in soup right now because Malamu actually took all the money as well. All the whistleblower, Ababa, Nigeria had a whistleblower policy. If you expose money, in fact, under Bokwari, they even announced then that if you know any looted fund anywhere, eh, if that money is recovered, we are going to give you 5%. You know that Malamu stopped it. Yeah, he stopped it. Some are accusing him of actually, redeeming such money and hunting down the whistleblowers so that they will never be able to make any claim to that money. So Malami is so rotten that a lot of criminals who have been bound by him are always going to probably come out now to take their own pound of flesh. Now that the criminals in charge of Nigeria are rewarding other criminals and punishing other criminals. It's crazy, right? I'm not talking about criminals. Awujale of Ijebuland, Oba Sikiru Adetono died last year, right? And he's been buried. All burial rites and everything concluded. It was time to appoint a new Awujale of Ijebuland. And as expected, there are other vested interests who are trying to put the levers of their own or put their own weights in choosing who is going to be the next Awujale. I am from Ijebuland. I am from Ijebu. As an Ijebu man, I understand the entire process that I believe always come together before a king is chosen. In Ijebu, because I am from Ijebu, and I'm a red-blooded Ijebu man. I'm very, very Ijebus. Like, I'm very, very Ijebu. So I'm like that Ibile guy, okay? So this is my own like area. And somehow, last time I had this kind of a chat with somebody, it just reminded me that forget about what you were taught, what they taught you when you were growing up, okay? Forget about that. A lot of things are no longer like what they normally used to be, simply because some people have put their own personal interests above anything called traditional culture, name it. And I said, no, that's not for Ijebu. Ijebu is so different that you wouldn't want to have their problems, But my friend was like, nah, you are living in the past. We have the Afobajes, the kingmakers, who have to consult again our own supposed oracles in order to choose who is going to be probably the best and peaceful Awujale for the whole Ijebus all over the world. So the process was ongoing. Candidates from different ruling houses that are qualified to participate have submitted their own CVs, their names, and all that. The list is quite long. More than 100 people want to be Awujale of Ijebuland, the paramount ruler of Ijebuland, by the way. But we do have a governor called Dubious Dapo, the Ogun State governor. He is interested, as he should be, as they normally do, since we have now been having the political obas in Yoruba land. Unfortunately, tradition, culture, the rest of all those things are no longer matter to these guys, not anymore. They've desecrated this valued culture, this valued tradition to what is now more or less like a showmanship, unfortunately. But you know what happened? The kingmakers were almost like pulling down the list of those who wanted to be the Awujale. They pulled the list down, but they were also like need the supposed blessing or authority of the state governor in this instance. All right. So they haven't concluded who is going to be until when the governor sent his own letter, the commissioner of local government or the commissioner for local government and chieftaincy affairs or something. To send a letter and said they should stop the process of the selection process, that they should end it. Don't do any screening anymore. Don't do any of this, your process, wherever anymore. Order from above. Because the governor has chosen somebody who is a current House of Representative member, I believe, representing somewhere in Shomolu, somewhere in Lagos. Right? So to come and be the next Awujale. And the kingmakers were like, what? No, that is not how it is done. And that is the real Ijebu that I know. I'll show you something. So immediately they were supposed to have this other screening for these candidates. And the state government said they should stop all training henceforth. There shouldn't be any anymore. But why? Because they've chosen one, order from above. Which above? From Tiknumbu to come and choose a king for us in Ijebu. But are you being serious? So that's it. No, that's not it. It's not going to happen. Now it is like the dagger down, like the battle line is now drawn. Because the Ijebu kingmakers from Ijebu, they have concluded that they would rather not have an Awujale when the dubious Dapo is still governor. If he believes that he's going to have his way, then there will be no Awujale in Ijebu land while he is governor. And if he's so powerful and weighty, why can't he just go and make kind of like give them a king in Ekweru, where he comes from? That's where the governor comes from. He's from Ekweru. They have been at loggerheads in Ekweru that even the dubious Dapo himself, a company that's not born in Papa well, to tell them in Ekweru who is to become the Alakweru of Ekweru. He can even choose that. Now you want to choose Awujale of Ijebu land by imposition? That's going to be interesting. It is not impossible.
In Lagos, it's only the Afro-Bagets and the governor. Some people want to see. Some people say no. Because no man more about Fuge. Ijebu man more about you. No father comment on it. Orí gómìnà nínú ọ̀lú agbára ọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀dẹ́ nìyẹn. Ṣé irú náà ní kúkú Èkó tẹ̀lé nù máa alẹ́ mọ̀? Àbí jáde dédé wọn ṣá. Ọlọ́wà fẹ́ náà. So ẹ̀jẹ̀ kan lò agbára wọn. Unanimous Ìjẹ̀bú àwọn. Inú mi dùn ẹ̀rọ kí wọ́n á àdírẹ́sì rẹ̀. Ìjẹ̀bú àwọn. Nítorí wọ́n bá lè ṣe ní ìlú èmọ̀ rẹ̀. Ẹ ṣe àwọn ọmọ ọ̀dọ̀ òun ló ń gbọ́ àwọn kan lọ́mọ. So ti yẹn sì ọwọ́ rẹ̀ wá láti overseas èyí kọ́ pain ni ó pain ni dédé ẹ̀rẹ́ wa ẹ̀wọ́n ti àdúgbò ẹ̀yádá Lagos Ìbàdàn north you can within some few hours wọ́n dé Ìjẹ̀bú Òde ṣùgbọ́n look at those who came from all the way from buy ticket to close to 12 million.
I came all the way from London.
This man is from London.
Just for today.
So now
that is the government directive.
Okay.
They will write us with the they are going to write us our Olori Ebis. So we are waiting for their letters.
Okay.
Once the local government serve us the letter, we shall reply appropriately. That is in our year one and in the so
kábíyèsí gẹ́gẹ́ bí olórí ẹbí wa kí lẹ fẹ́ ká ṣe ń sìn ká máa lọ lé.
mo gbogbo sùúrù láti gbé bọ̀ láti yọ ẹ̀ ká máa ṣe sùúrù yẹn lọ ṣẹ́gbọ́n torí ti mí jẹun tó kọ́kọ́ rush me out to come and meet you. I can't leave you alone. Kó ṣe sọ́jà ni never mind kó sọ́jà ni èmi máa lead ẹ̀ máa jẹ́ kó yìnbọn ẹlẹ́rọ̀ mi so mo dúró tì wọ́n ẹ má bínú. This man is from US. I think another one from US. I have about 2 or 3 who are from US. Look at the fee for Kenya. You are from London.
Yes, sir.
How I want to call you? Long walk.
Irú àwa. Àwa tẹ kó yẹn. Long walk.
Hello, Èkó.
Ó ní wọ mọ́tò. Èló ń wọ mọ́tò Èkó. Ìjẹ̀bú. Àwọn ọmọ wa ní Ìjẹ̀bú yẹn ní iye yìí o. Gbàgbé o. So what happened there was that they are aware, they are very much aware of the power kind of like flexing that the governor would kind of pull. They are ready for him too. I've seen this before. It's such a shame, Dapo. You will be the one to now kind of like impose your friends, your political friends, to go and become Awujale of Ijebu land. Before one issue, kò ní ọba ti ṣe kò ní ọṣẹrun rònìyàn ṣe rí òjúrẹ́ àrírun rẹnu kan rẹ̀ rí. However, the people of Ekweru who have actually told him that they're not born in Papa well. Now, dubious Dapo is not interested in choosing the king for his own town. The Alakperu of Ikperu, he didn't, he's not got that balls. They told him that they will kill him. That he can use all this governorship, whatever thing to protect himself for now, right? But he's not going to have that forever. So they will kill him. So right now he's staying away from his own town, only to come and disrupt the Ijebus. Like, okay, anyway. That feels different, right? Kind of like a hit them differently. So when you see all this desecration of all these supposed institutions, and just feel like there's nothing that actually really that can escape from their ruins and destruction. But we'll see how far that goes anyway. So let's leave Ijebu and quickly go a little bit further south. Yeah, I want to go to Port Harcourt. We have been waiting for the supposed chief judge of Rivers State to announce that he will be convening, he will be setting up a panel to investigate the gross misconduct against Fubara. Somehow, shockingly, today, the chief judge responded and said, no, I can't set up any panel. Why? Then he cited some court judgment or court order that told him that he must never even accept the letter from the speaker. Okay? Talkless of him setting up a panel to remove Fubara as governor of Rivers State. As the panel that's going to investigate the impeachment allegation against Fubara. So right now, the chief judge has said, no, he cited the two cases, including the one that has been instituted by Awujale himself. You see, when Fubara went to court to stop the impeachment, right, he got an ex parte order. An ex parte order is just a few days, though, and it will be lifted. So Awujale has now sort of like appealed that. So meaning they are both in court. Until the conclusion of what's going on in court, the chief judge can't do anything. That's his own position. Right? So say Fubara has bought another extra, kind of like extra few weeks. All of this can change overnight. Don't bank on it, okay? Here is what someone has to say.
The House of Assembly is seeking to bring to the fore Section 188 of the 1999 Constitution, which outlines the procedures for impeaching a state governor. And they had written to the chief judge to actually constitute this panel, and from there the panel will have to sit for 3 months. It has 3 months, but it mustn't sit for 3 months for it to conclude, and of course it will have to hear from all parties. But there's one process that I keep saying that had been challenging if indeed that process was not skipped in this process, because we have to be rational and not emotional about this. Now if you read Section 188, it clearly states that once the Speaker of the State House of Assembly receives a notice and eventually he looks at it and he thinks it's okay and he admits the notice, then he writes to the governor, and maybe in this instance the deputy governor, and then the governor and deputy governor, having received officially this document, will have to write back, attending to all the issues, allegations raised against him and maybe the deputy governor, and from there the document received back, or the feedback received from the governor and the deputy, or the governor alone, whichever, will then have to be circulated back to the House of Assembly members, and if they are okay with the reply, it ends there. And if they are not okay with the reply, then this other process will come in place. And that's where a lot of people are saying that it looks like, number one, the governor did not acknowledge receiving it, and number two, there's no reply from the governor back. So has that been skipped, or is he okay? And then why did the speaker then jump directly to writing the chief judge? And the chief judge, having looked at this, took a rational decision. And we still have men of integrity in this country, but don't forget that's also a state that could easily be manipulated by political players, because that's what Nyesom Wike has been accusing Governor Fubara of doing too, because he appoints the chief judge, and in this instance there's a tendency for him to actually have an overbearing influence. But in this instance, whatever action was taken by the chief judge, through what's called lis pendens, that's to inform the speaker and his members that there still is subsisting court order, is actually the right
thing to do, of course, no doubt. The presidency where Dani Bulaba, you remember Dani Bulaba? So he was also on the channels this morning called Breakfast Show or something, right? So he was there to say the body of the guys in APs, I'm sorry, in their presidency in Abuja, is that Fubara should be left alone. And saying that simply means that with a Wike is not really being supported by the rest of them in that their presidency, you say. Now here is what Dani Bulaba had to say.
Nigeria's presidency is finally speaking up on the political crisis in Rivers State, affirming its support for the governor, Siminalayi Fubara, as the leader of the APC in the state. Speaking on Channels Television's current affairs program, Hard Copy, the special advisor to the president on policy communication, Daniel Buwala, says that Mr. Nyesom Wike has been instrumental in Tinubu administration. However, he stressed the fact that Mr. Wike is not a member of the president's party, the APC, and notes that the Rivers State governor must be allowed to work.
I agree with the point highlighted by the national chairman that in Rivers State, Governor Fubara is the leader of APC party in Rivers State. Now, you made mention of Wike. Wike is not a member of APC, so he can't speak for APC. I don't know whether I get the point. He may be the leader of PDP in Rivers State because he was a former governor and they don't have a governor at the moment. But in APC, the leader of the party in Rivers State is Governor Fubara. The president believes in the rule of law and a rule-based practice, right? With respect to the party affairs, what the national chairman said is the position president sticks to because he respects party procedure. We have had people who complain that as a cabinet member, Wike enjoyed more benefit than anything. You know, when you leave a treasury single account.
He delivered more than most.
If they are given the resources that he has and unfettered access, they will do more. So Wike has been adequately compensated. You see, the president believes in compensating people. Compensating people not at the expense of the interest of Nigeria. You have to understand President Bola Tinubu. He will give you latitude. He will give you privilege, but not at the expense of what is the right thing to do. Now, when you cross that line, nobody will tell you, you will know. So the matter between Wike and Fubara is already handled. Handled in the sense that you ask the question, who is the leader of the party? In this case, we say is the governor. For the impeachment procedure is consistent with the practice of law, right?
Okay.
And the requirement. And then the governor will deal with it. There have been orders of court that stopped impeachment, right? The party is clear. Nobody should stop Fubara from governing the state. And that one should be clear to everybody, that the party sticks with the leaders of the party in their respective state. Okay. In fact, the president even respects the right of a state in which a PDP governor is a governor, and maybe somebody, APC, wants to disturb him. He believes that the governor should be allowed to govern the state.
Okay.
That is his disposition. That's his approach.
Nuisance, Lele.
Tinubu no tell her that. You understand, Bob? Yeah, maybe the body language of everybody in the place is that they are tired of with the Wike. Fubara is no longer in PDP. You are not a member of APC. You and your Rainbow Coalition have been a Rainbow Party that you are doing in Rivers State. It's just the figment of his own imagination. At a point, they will actually have to tell him. Here is their party chairman saying, if you want to work for Tinubu, come and join their party. All this idea of you are supporting Tinubu or you are somewhere else, it's not going to fly again because they will no longer give their appointment to anybody who is not a member of their party. Guess what? A lot of people believe that he is actually talking to Wike.
In 2027, as a party chairman, I will stand strong to defend the position that if you're not prepared to join us, you shouldn't be given appointment. We encourage and support the members of political party to be in position. If you are a technocrat, go and be a consultant. But not taking political appointment and not going back to support the party that brought you to power. If all of us decide to be, if all the appointees decide to become technocrats, the party will never return back to power. So there's nothing like technocrats. And as a party chairman, I stand with the position of that they are all political appointees of our party, the APC. When I look at the numbers of registered, that's the members that have registered so far as members of APC on our e-registration platform, out of the 6 regions, it is only the Northwest that has hit up to 20% of the total registered members of the APC. But we will not give up as North Central. So far, you have the largest number. And the good news also is that out of the people that registered in the Northwest, 48% of them are people within the age of 18 and 35. At the national level, we have the average is 47%. But in the Northwest, Northwest has the highest number of young people who are registered as members of the APC, making 48% in terms of numbers. It means the young people own this party. Because people within the age of 18 and 49, they form roughly about 83% of the registered members of the party. All those of us who are 50 years and above, we just form 17%. Now, I think that you've joined us now. So you're no more among those people who own the party. Minister of Youth has a big job to do. The party belongs to the young people.
So don't be a consultant for APC and expect political appointments. That's kind of like a warning. Our time has been fast spent, by the way, far gone. So we'll be rounding up soon, but we are still in Rivers. Okay. So Ankyo Briggs, he's one of the leaders from that state who have stood behind Fubara. Spoke openly against Wike. And yes, she is. After the chief judge of the state refused to set up the panel to remove the Fubara, Ankyo Briggs is back on TV.
What is it? What's the agreement? Shehu, do you know the agreement that Nyesom Wike is shouting about? Agreement, everybody is shouting agreement. The lawmakers are shouting, and supporters of Nyesom Wike are shouting, no Wike, no Rivers State. You can't say that. I mean, everybody else in Rivers State. I mean, how can you say that without one man, a state will not exist? Where is that political? And where is it acceptable? Well, it may be acceptable anywhere else, but I do not believe that the majority, and I do know that the majority of Rivers people are in support of Similar Fubara. His support is organic. And therefore, if today he finds himself, for whatever reasons he has decided as the governor of Rivers State, that he has to move to the APC to survive as a governor of Rivers State, then the organic support he has is fully behind him. I may not be a member of APC, but I am a daughter of Rivers State. And when it comes to the elections in Rivers State, I know whom I'm going to vote for. It will depend on what the person is offering and the circumstances. And so whether the person is in APC or PDP, PDP had the Niger Delta for how many years? They only just lost it in Tinubu's tenure, and it's not even up to 3 years that PDP lost this region. It was fully and totally a PDP region, and yet somehow
PDP region until Wike and others decided to be on the side of the APC. But there were those before Wike as well, so it's just Wike came to close the deal, you would say. But so Yomi, the guy that was with Dapo sometimes back, right? He's got his own business center in Port Harcourt. He's also the prayer consultant for some of these politicians as well. Yomi, that's his name, right? He believes that all that is going on right now in River State is actually spiritual. Spiritual problem, I don't know, maybe I should agree with him. That's so possible.
Because if God speaks to me, I will say it. No mortal man, I repeat, can solve the problem of River State. No mortal man. It's not a physical problem. Has the president been able to solve it? No. I'll give you the story so you know I'm a man of God. Ada George was a governor. Odile was under him. Odile and him fought. Odile was his boy. Odile, Amechi was his boy. Amechi and Odile fought. Amechi, Wike was his boy. Wike and Odile, Amechi fought. Fubara was a boy to make it. Wike and him are fighting. It can never be solved by any physical mess except by the hand of God. There is no physical mess because it's not a physical problem. Even if sin picks somebody today, the person will fight him. It's a spiritual problem. But I stand in my office today and I declare that curse broken in the name of Jesus. They have tried all means. Even the president have not been able. No mortal man told me, but today, market, I decree that curse broken right now. In the name of Jesus. Whatever has followed.
What shall I say unto the Lord? Yes, Lord. All I have to say, thank you.